Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cubs Daily, hosted by me, Steven Ryan. This channel is the best place to be for all things Chicago Cubs. For all the breaking news, the roster shakeups, and reaction to all things Cubs, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments below, who will lead the Cubs in home runs this season? Will it be Kyle Tucker? Could it be Seiya Suzuki? Let me know in the comments below. And ladies and gentlemen, let's dive right into it. I think a big question for the Chicago Cubs this upcoming season is Pete Crow-Armstrong. Now, he had a very promising end to the 2024 season. Unfortunately, he did not get a lot of tick in the 2023 season, but struggled early last year, but things started to click last year towards the end. He had that inside the park home run. He's obviously brought the Gold Glove defense everywhere he goes. He still ended up with a 2.3 WAR with counting stats like 237 batting average, 10 home runs, and not a lot of RBI opportunities, but he stole 27 bases. What you like to see is the slight improvement from his rookie year, right? His exit velo off his bat has jumped up 13%. If we can have another increase like that, I expect big things for the Cubs center fielder. Now, coming in to the majors, we already knew his glove was made of gold. Last year, he ranked in the top 6 in a lot of key defensive metrics for baseball outfielders. And ladies and gentlemen, this is all outfielders in all of baseballs. Like outs above average, he was 6th. Feet covered versus average, 6th. Fielding run value 3rd, and his arm strength was 3rd overall. Pete Crow-Armstrong potentially could be a 4 WAR player if he was only allowed to play defense. Whatever he gives us from the plate is just icing on the cake. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have some bigger expectations for him this year, okay? I have a few goals I've listed down for Pete Crow-Armstrong, and if he can hit these tiers, he's well on his way to be a cornerstone player for this Cubs team. I'm hoping he can get to 20 home runs this year. He was starting to show the lift off the bat last year. Like I said, he increased his exit velo up 13%. If he can get another jump like that, I expect more home runs. And again, that speed could create some inside the park home runs like last year. And, that creates a lot of chaotic plays on the paths and can lead to more runs, which leads to more Cubs wins. Next up, I want to at least see 75 RBIs on him. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to get the opportunity like I want him to. Right now, he's slotted to be like 7th to 9th in the batting order. Ideally, Pete Crow-Armstrong develops the patience and the presence at the plate to become our leadoff hitter because he's just that lethal, ladies and gentlemen. And if he becomes that good of a hitter, he needs to get the most at-bats possible. Now, this year, I'm kind of undercutting this. Ideally, I would love to see 50 stolen bases because last year he had 27. I'm going to say a modest 40 stolen bases, okay? 40 stolen bases for Pete Crow-Armstrong should be very easy, ladies and gentlemen. But let's end on the high end, maybe go 50. Now, an expectation of mine is the Gold Glove defense. He didn't win it last year, but I expect that he will take care of business this year and win the Gold Glove, and he might even mess around and win Platinum, ladies and gentlemen. He is just that special of a player, and I'm excited to watch him play a full season helming center field at Wrigley. Let's keep the party rolling here. I saw some bleak news on the internet. Unfortunately, Anthony Rizzo is still a free agent, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a rocky road for Rizzo since he left the Cubs in 2021. I talked about him in the last video, Kevin Alcantara, the guy we traded for Rizzo. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it's looked like a fantastic deal. And even Calvin Alcantara hasn't even done anything for the Cubs yet at the major league level. But Rizzo has not been the same. The 3-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner, all with the Cubs. He even won a Platinum Glove with us. 4th in the MVP voting in 2016. And the Cubs already had the MVP on their team in Chris Bryant. He's the captain, man. What more could I say about this guy? He's a fixture in the city. I would want him on the bench if possible, but I totally understand if he doesn't want to be relegated to that role. Honestly, if he chooses to retire, he's more than welcome back to work in the organization. Anthony Rizzo loves baseball. He would be an absolute impact guy for all these young Cubs to teach them the way forward. I always think there's room in the organization for a guy like Anthony Rizzo. I'm just not sure if it's really, really worth it in the sense of signing him to a deal. You'd be taking a roster spot from John Birdie or Vidal Brujan. I mean, a great pop bench off the bench, but you just don't really know necessarily what you're going to get from Rizzo this year. And in, not consistent at bats, I don't think the numbers would be right where we want them. So I hope Rizzo lands on his feet somewhere. But unfortunately, I don't think it's necessarily a good fit for this Chicago Cubs team. I do think we should welcome back as a member of the organization when he does choose to hang him up after a great, great career. Obviously, a key part of that 2016 World Series team. Rizzo, we love you, man. Hope you're able to play again. But otherwise, I don't think the Cubs should re-sign him. We got to give Michael Busch the look there and let Justin Turner help back him up. Now, guys, we had the 2023 second half, right, where it was a very special run for the Cubs. One of the best records in baseball. Unfortunately, the end of September did not go our way, and we did not make the playoffs. So I'm going to give you the 3 Cubs I think need to have the biggest bounce-back years this year for us to go to that next level. I'm going to start off at number 3, and we're going to go with Jordan Wicks. He was riddled by injury last year. He had a 5.48 ERA, and honestly, he just did not look as sharp as he did as a rookie. Now, his rookie ERA was only 4.4, but kind of that's to be expected as a rookie, It's not all fun and games as a rookie. People figure you out, and you kind of got to readjust to the major league style of hitting. So I expect Jordan Wicks to come into this year fully healthy. He looked good in his first spring appearance. Now, I'm really looking for him to solidify as the number 4 starter for this Cubs. I'd like his ERA to dip below 4, get closer to the low 3s if possible. But either way, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking about the progression here with these young Cubs. We just want to see you guys get better at a young age. That is the most important part because we're probably not going to win the World Series this year. You never know. It's baseball. That's the magical part about the sport. But the Cubs need to see the development so they can make that push here in the next year or two. No doubt about it. Next up on the docket, I do have Nico Hoerner. Unfortunately, he was given the injury. I am hoping it does not delay him all too much. His finishing numbers ended up very solid last year. He hit 273. Again, not a lot of pop in the bat, but a very solid hitter, a clutch hitter for the Cubs. Guy that moves runners along, drives in some runs, etc., etc. But most of his career, ladies and gentlemen, when he's played a full season, he's above a 280 hitter. So I really want to see his average get above 280 again. Those are more hits, those are more runs, etc., etc. So hopefully Nico can come back healthy and strong for the Cubs and provide that Gold Glove defense that they so desperately need. Last but not least, we really needed. He was our big signing 2 years ago. I was thinking more like Correa, maybe even Turner. But unfortunately, I love Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson is the absolute man. He's a great leader in the clubhouse for these guys. Just a little underwhelming performance in his Cubs tenure so far. Luckily, the 7-year, $177 million contract, honestly, in baseball terms, it doesn't look too bad. I like the deal personally. We're going to get stable defense from him, as a consistent shortstop, which is truly what you need at that position. They deal with the most ground balls of any position on the field. So I love Dansby Swanson defensively. I just want to see him raise that hitting up. He hit 10 points below his batting average. In the year before, he hit 8 points below as a career 252 hitter. But we know he has the potential to hit a little bit better than that. I'm looking for 260, 265. Again, get above 20 home runs. Just be a solid hitter for this Cubs team. And I think if Nico and Dansby can raise their hitting stats a little bit, I really think the Cubs are going to jump into that next level. Again, the past 2 years have been, 82, 83 wins. There's no reason this Cubs team couldn't win 87, 88 games. And, there is one projection side that has them winning 90 games. I don't see why that's not possible. We just need to have bounce-back years from these 3 guys and others as well. So, those are my 3. Jordan Wicks, Nico Hoerner, and Dansby Swanson. If those guys can up their game, ladies and gentlemen, the Cubs will be going to the playoffs. No doubt about it, in my opinion. Now, speaking of playoffs, let's take a look at the NL Central forecast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to give the Cubs the biggest push in the division this year? That is the real question. Now, on the outset, it looks like a 2-team race, right? It looks like it's going to be Milwaukee and the Cubs. I do not know how the Brewers do it. They lost Willy Adames. They got rid of their closer, Devin Williams. They have this young gentleman named Yoho, who kind of is like a little Devin Williams reincarnation. But The Brewers, you know they have a solid foundation organization. You know they do very well at development. And honestly, they're probably expecting their superstar center fielder, Jackson Churios. He might not have that title yet. Let's say it, ladies and gentlemen. He's a very good ball player, and he's going to be very good for the Milwaukee Brewers. They already inked him to a 10-year deal. So they're looking for him to take that next step. They want Christian Yelich to come back and be a solid veteran bat like he was during his MVP season in the past few years as well. You know the Brewers are scrappy. You know they're going to pitch well. You know they're going to play tough baseball. The Brewers and the Cubs, I think, are going to be at the top of the division. I'm taking the Cubs to win the division, but it's not going to be an easy race, and the Brewers are going to be right on their heels. Now, the team probably not going to, be there at the end, but could make it fun for the first few months here in the baseball season. I'm going to say the Cincinnati Reds. I think the Cincinnati Reds could end up being third in this division. Could go as low as fourth, but Elly De La Cruz taking that next step as a superstar bat. They got Noel V. Marte. They got Matt McClain. So many young, fun players on this Reds offense. You know Cincinnati is a fantastic hitting ballpark. Hunter Green is going to be coming back and going to be providing stability for them as well. So you look for the Reds to take a nice little leap forward too. They're going to be scrappy. They're going to be tough. They're going to be close to around 500. I don't think they're going to make it towards the end of the year. I think they're going to fall off. But the Reds, I have them projected third, in my opinion. And that's where the Reds are. And the Reds are going to be a tough team. They always give the Cubs a battle, whether they're good, bad, or mediocre. You got to watch out for the Cincinnati Reds. They have the star power that the Cubs need to extend in Kyle Tucker. I'm going to be honest with you, in Elly De La Cruz. But either way, the Reds, going to be tough. You got to watch out for them. Now, who I'm going to have fourth is the St. Louis Cardinals, ladies and gentlemen. The St. Louis Cardinals are an absolute transition right now. Wilson Contreras, they're going to try and trade Nolan Arenado. They're not really sure what they're going to get out of those guys. The pitching is not there. They're trying to develop their young talent, Jordan Walker, etc. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the Cardinals do. They could be fun for the first few months, but I imagine they're going to fall off towards the end. And last but not least, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens is the man. Frontline ace. Maybe the best starter in the division. No doubt. But unfortunately for pitching, that starts every 5 days. They don't have any form of offense. And then after him, they got Jared Jones and Mitch Keller. But after that, it's kind of bleak for the Pirates. So I'm going to have the Cubs finishing first, Brewers second, Reds third, Cardinals fourth, and the Pirates fifth in the NL Central. Also, guys, in the comments, let me know who's going to lead the team in home runs, but also let me know your division rankings as well. Let me know who's going to win the division. Is it the Cubs? Is it the Brewers? Is it going to be the Reds? Are they going to surprise everybody and win 88-plus games? Either way, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.